Kia ora everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name's Amy. I look like a hot mess. I am a hot mess. It's very hot today. I've just been out exercising and doing a bunch of errands and getting my steps in for the day, and now I am hot and tired. But I wanted to get in here and not only film our favorite video of the month, completed pages, but also remind you that tomorrow, 1 p.m. New Zealand time, it's scheduled to convert to your time. We start hashtag colouring for cancer and hashtag piggytubython 2026, where myself and 15 other YouTubers are going to be live streaming for 24 hours as we raise funds for the World Cancer Research Fund. There is some information down below. I will also link down below the scheduled live stream. I am streamer number 1. So if you come to my stream, you're going to be here at the start, and it's going to be easy to keep following through as we bounce between everyone's channels. I really hope you can join us, and if you can give to the World Cancer Research Fund, that would be amazing. If you are not in a place to financially do so, also understand your time is also a valuable donation. Come hang out in everybody's streams, come be active and chatty, share the links. There's also a bunch of stuff happening during the month, including raffles and different promos, and we will talk more about that during the stream and all that sort of stuff tomorrow. And of course the VOD will be there for those of you where maybe the times aren't great, but again, this is a 24-hour live stream, so somebody's going to be streaming hopefully the time that suits you. But yeah, I'll leave some links down below about that, but I just wanted to remind you all that that's happening tomorrow, so I hope you can come and check that out and hang out with us, hence me looking like a hot mess, because it's like, wow, we're going to jump in here and record this regardless of how I look, and this is it today. Enjoy. But yeah, so just a quick reminder about that, and now let's get into completed pages. So it's technically the 29th, 30th, 31st? It's the 31st because tomorrow's the 1st. Wow. I'm technically filming this on the 31st. I normally wait until the 1st to wrap it up. However, I know the rest of today I've got so much on there, I'm not going to be able to colour today. So I was like, you know what, we're going to film this early. And again, I really wanted to get that reminder up. So yeah, we're wrapping this up just before the month ends, but that's okay. So I'll take you to my top cam, and we're actually going to start with stats. I know stats aren't everybody's favourites, but if you've been on the channel, and thank you to so many new friends joining us on the channel this month, we hit over 4,000, which is absolutely incredible. If you have any suggestions on like what you'd like to see for a 4,000 subscriber video, I know I was going to do something for 3,000, and then I think I had a bit of a mental health break situation occur. So yeah, I was thinking maybe a Q&A that's like really easy for me to record, and there's a lot of people that are newer here that maybe don't know a lot about me, or I know maybe a day in the life in New Zealand, like it's not really colouring related, but I could take you around a bit. I don't know, let me know if you've got any ideas. Otherwise, anyway, as I said, we had quite a jump this month. Let's go to the top cam. So we hit over 4,000, which is freaking cool. Move all my to-do list for today. It's massive. But a big reason why there was such a surge this month is, of course, I put out my complete collection tour, which means I do it every January. And because of that, there's always a little surge in January of new people to the channel, because YouTube likes to promote those videos because algorithms, which, yay, so glad new people can find us. But because of that complete collection tour, I did say in it, as I did the complete collection tour, it was a stock take, and it was me checking that everything totaled up correctly. And I did say at the end that I would let you know in completed pages how my actual overall collection totals changed and what the overall stats were. So the things that were figured out, my total number of books was correct. I did have 443 books in my collection, so that was the correct total. The whips total did go from 17 to 23 because I found some more whips as I was going through. So good thing I gave up on my whip goal last year of keeping it under 10, because we were well over 10. And then the main thing was the completed versus the worked versus unworked books. So I had written down that I had 357 books in my collection worked. It turned out I had 355 books worked, whereas I had 68 books unworked, and there were 86 books unworked, and there was 88 books unworked. So, and just some minimal changes. It does put the worked and unworked percentage, gives it another 0.4% difference, but it's not a huge amount. Like, my spreadsheet was fairly accurate, which I was pretty pleased about. It was just a couple of things. There was one book that wasn't recorded because it was recorded as something else, and it was mostly just the worked and unworked. A few of the page counts are incorrect, but I'm not too worried about that one so much. So yeah, that's pretty reasonable. I'm pretty pleased with that overall. But of course, now all the totals will change because it's a new month and stuff. But I just have that little note there of how things changed. So yeah, for the month of January, as I said, YouTube, huge increase, 146, which put us over 4,000, which is awesome. Again, I don't really care about the sub numbers. I just do this as a side hobby of my hobby. I don't even have monetization on YouTube. It's really not about that for me. It's just about sharing my love of coloring, and then when my brain is not in the space to share it, we don't do anything. So yeah, YouTube over 4,000, absolutely incredible. Very grateful for it. Instagram, we went up 20. Facebook, I mean, I only have Facebook because it auto posts from Instagram, so that's pretty much it. And then Twitch did go up just a couple as well, which is quite cool because I didn't really do a lot on Twitch in December. I am starting to try and regular live stream. I have worked out that a Friday night is kind of a reasonable night for me to live stream. I did just have to take last Friday off because of sickness. But I am trialing a new live stream time, which doesn't work for a lot of y'all that used to join me for my regular Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday morning streams, because of course it's now Friday night, and I know it's completely different, but it is a time that I can see working for me. So I'm going to keep trialing that as well, which will be awesome if you can hang out. If you can't, totally fun. And then into what we actually care about, the completed pages for the month. We have done 45 pages this month, which is freaking awesome. 8 of them were buddies. There is 4 double page spreads in there. I worked in 5 new books. I participated in 10 hashtags. That's not individual hashtags. It's just 10 pages that apply to hashtags. And then I also worked 4 whips. I created 11 whips. I'm not worried about my whips this year. It's going to be what it's going to be. I'm very much going with the attitude of coloring what I feel, and if I'm not feeling it, walking away. And I've really enjoyed coloring that this month, working like that. So yeah. And then there's just 3 books in the collection this month. World on Nature, I don't know how to pronounce that, by Rada Prince, and Small World Colouring by Ursula Schwab, which were both gifts that were sent to me, and I'm so grateful. I've worked in both of them. And then Pencil Butter folder is a new folder where I've taken a bunch of PDFs by my lovely dear friend Pencil Butter, printed them out, and made a PDF book, basically. So yeah, turning just a couple of loose PDFs into a book because I'm more likely to work in it as a book. So yeah, let's get into this chaos. Well, since we're starting with Pencil Butter, let's start, because she is right on top here. So yeah, as I said, I did take all the loose PDFs I had of Pencil Butter's work, and now I've put them into a folder so I can track this like a book. I did just get a couple of new ones, sneak peek of one that I know that's on the process of coming out, and I know there's some more coming out too, so I'm super excited to colour in those. But these are the 2 that I did this month, and this one was also for a hashtag. Whoops, those little ones are going to pop out. So the lovely Jo of Piggy Pens and Hollyberry Colours have a light versus dark hashtag where they're putting across 2 opposites each month. So this month it was Angels and Demons. In February, I believe it is Love versus Hate. It's not about actual like hate towards people. It's about colouring something, maybe like, for me, colouring ants would be something that would fit in there because I have a fair events. I do have a plan for that one. I thought it was quite an interesting one to approach. I do have a plan for that one in February, which I'm hopeful to get to. But in the meantime, this is what I did for January. I think I forgot to post it on Instagram, so yeah, I do hashtags and never post them for the hashtags. It's okay. So yeah, this one is the Angel and Succubus pages, and I've been wanting to color these forever, and this just seemed like the perfect opportunity to do it. So I actually printed them on one big piece of paper. So they were side by side, and then I did the background. Once the background was dry, I cut it up to create the 2 pages because I wanted it to flow across in the background. The background is Gansai Tambi and iridescent watercolor, and you can see there's several different colors of Gansai Tambi that spreads across the page, with a bunch of iridescent watercolor in there, so there is a bit of shimmer and shine to the whole thing, which I love. And then I used alcohol markers to color the whole page. I did use a little bit of pencil, I believe, just of white to just add in some highlights in here. I was really trying to just shade with the alcohol markers. I was really pleased at how I did the hair. Like, yeah, getting so much detail into the hair with just alcohol markers is pretty pleased about that. I was also working with my cheaper alcohol markers, so it was interesting to see what I could do. Her skin over here is just the tiniest bit yellow. But I also, it's like the colors I have left in the cheaper markers, so it's like it's kind of perfect to use those up too. And since it's such a big page, like I don't really want to use Ohuhus and use those up on here. So yeah, did use cheaper markers. I don't mind. It still worked really well, and again, really pleased with the blending that I did achieve. I then did use some paint pens to do like highlights and stuff like that. There is Super Golden markers for the details on their clothes, and of course Mod Podge Sparkle for the wings and the horns on here. And yeah, I'm very pleased with how it turned out. I particularly love the Succubus. I think she just turned out so cool. So yeah, I still love this one, but yeah, something about the Succubus, just love it. Love it, love it, love it. So yeah, that was my first double. Oh, those little ones are these were little Patreon exclusives. Actually, I should chuck a piece of plain paper in there so you don't get that transfer on the back. But yeah, so those are the 2 that I did from Pencil Butter. I'll be sure to link her shop down below too, because, you know, small indie colouring artists are awesome to support. And I mean, Pencil Butter is my dear friend, so I'm already going to be like, love her, but I genuinely love colouring PB stuff. Right, we'll bump the camera apparently. We'll do Raider prints next. So I have a couple of Raider prints to show you. First off, I have a bunch of bookmarks that aren't quite bookmarks yet. These still need to be cut out and laminated, but I am counting it as done because basically I'm waiting till I have a pile before I pull out the laminator and do a laminating day again. So it won't take me long to cut around these, laminate, cut around again. Like the actual lamination process doesn't take long. But I had, again, a really weird idea, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to play around to see if this works. And that's what I love about using these PDFs by Raider Prints to experiment with, is you can try fun ideas. And so for this one, again, I just pulled out Gansai Tambi and did a bunch of that in the background. There is a bunch of iridescent watercolor. And then I just used a white paint pen to try and pull out highlights and see what details I could create with that. I did also just pull out a pink for the lips and the cheeks because I was like, that will be fun. So yeah, it's really simple colouring. This did not take me long at all because it's essentially just a abstract background with some paint pen highlights. But it was really fun and I really like the look of it. And when they're cut out, so you don't get it on the background, you're just getting the actual face and turned into the bookmarks, it's going to really pop even more, I reckon. And I'm also going to save all this background stuff because I've got somewhere else I can also use the leftover background. So yeah, so yeah, I do, again, I need to cut it out and laminate it, but I am waiting until I do a big lot because I have a couple more pages by Raider Prints that are in various stages of completion from over the time. So I'll just wait till there's a bunch more bookmarks to do and just do it all together. So yeah, those are the bookmarks I did from Raider Prince. And then the new book, so I got gifted Wold und Nature. I'm probably butchering that, and I do apologize, but oh my god, I basically screamed when I saw this book come in. It is gorgeous. I love Rita Prince works. I've absolutely fallen in love with her work. I find it just so sweet and calming, and I just had so much fun. And it's such a simple little page, but honestly, it was just so perfect for what I needed at the time. So this whole thing has been done in Neocolor IIs. I was just pulling directly off the crayon and colouring in over the page. I then also used a super golden marker to just go around the frame and add in some extra dots in the background. And there is Mod Podge Sparkle over the background as well. So a really simple page, but it's absolutely perfect. And the Neocolor IIs, just perfect for this page. I had so much fun. And yeah, absolutely great. A lot of this month has been me not feeling very well, so stuff like this that I can pull and do in bed as well has been an absolute go-to for me. So yeah, absolutely loved doing that one. So that's Wold und Nature by Raider Prince. Ooh, all right, let's do a couple of cozy colorings because these ones are taking up a lot of room and have quite a few bookmarks, as you can see. So I pulled out Fuzzy Friends by VV Tinta this month. My hair is melting everywhere. Sorry, this is why I don't normally leave it down. Fuzzy Friends by VV Tinta, and just basically turned to a page and worked on it as needed. Again, I have not been feeling very well this month, so I've had a lot of tummy troubles this month. So a lot of what I've been trying to do is just fun, cutesy, simple. And again, the focus is also colouring what I am in the mood for. So this is what I was in the mood for. I really like how this one turned out. Like, the highlighting is not perfect for the glow effect, especially on the bear here, but I had a lot of fun just playing around and seeing what I could do with alcohol markers. I did pull out a little bit of paint pen for the center of the fire, but I didn't do any paint pen highlights. I was just trying to leave that little orange glow effect. And then of course Mod Podge Sparkle in the sky, because why not? Yeah, it's not the perfect highlighting, but I was pretty pleased with it. I think this one killed 2 markers in the process too, so more markers gone. And then I did the one behind it because I thought, why not? The background marker was another sacrifice that was made, so yeah, it's a bit patchy in the background, but we did the best we could. I did also cover it in Mod Podge Sparkle, so you can't even tell too badly how patchy it is. Like, that covers it. I figured it's under this ocean, so it can be all shiny and sparkly and stuff like that. And then yeah, just alcohol marker, paint, Posca paint pen to do some highlights, Mod Podge Sparkle on top. Really simple. I try not to go too complicated sometimes with these because, you know, sometimes you just need some simple colouring. This one was a bit of fun. So again, I had the Gansai Tumby out while I was doing a bunch of other things, and while I was waiting for it to dry, I was like, oh, I'll just flick through the book, and I saw this page. It was like, oh, that would be really cool to use on the background. So I tried Gansai Tumby. So you can see possibly just a little bit of patchiness on here. That is where the colour separated and started spreading down into him. Same with, I think, on the trees a little bit. It's not too bad, but, you know, like, it's fine. Animals, you know, sometimes they have different textures of fur or something. So maybe that's just what's going on. But it was really fun to experiment with the background. And I really like how that sky looks in comparison to the alcohol marker for the rest of it. And then once again, a little bit of paint pen highlight. I did pull out a little bit of an ivory, though it's changed colour a bit with the alcohol markers here. But ivory for down here. And then the rest of it I actually did in purple because the sky is purple. So that was really fun too. And I did contemplate putting glitter on top here, but I was like, you know what, it's got a bit of iridescence in the Gansai Tumby, and I like it as is, so I don't think it needs it. And yeah, the paper held up pretty well for that. Then the last one I did in here was just this one. Again, this one's nothing too fabulous. It was just, I'm tired, I'm sore, I want to colour something, but I also don't want to think. We'll just colour this page. So very flat colouring, a little bit of alcohol marker highlights. I did pull out some metallic pens to highlight some areas on the grass. Mod Podge for glitters and mushrooms and stuff like that. Again, it's nothing spectacular, but it's what I needed at the time. And I still think it's cute. I love this book. I think my spreadsheet calculator said that I am now halfway through this book because I've done so much in here. So yeah, we're on the pathway to actually finishing this book as well, which is incredible. But that's Fuzzy Friends by Vivi Tinta. Then another book that has a pile of bookmarks is Capybara Cuties by Rob Parkinson. Now, I am in a group for this book. I should have written the names down. I was going to write the names in the front of the book before I started, so it was there. I should do that. Where is the group chat? Is anyone else having issues with Instagram, like hiding your group chats? So many of my group chats keep disappearing. It's annoying because I'm in a lot of group chats. Right, so we have myself, Ali, Color Mama 360, Amanda, which is ALLJ Colors, Amy, who is Colouring with Amy, another Amy, Kathy, Colour V94, Jess from Colouring Bumblebee, Deborah, Where I Wander, I Find, and then Emma Colouring 85 is everyone that's now in the group. We had a couple new friends join us this month. And as you can see by the amount of bookmarks in here, I've done quite a few pages because I joined a bit later. So I was like, you know what? I'll catch up one month. And I guess this month was the month I decided to catch up. So yeah, we've got a few to go through. So we have a camping. I colour these relatively simply, just alcohol markers, paint pen highlights, and then I might pull out like a iridescent pen or a sparkle or something like that to add a feature to it. But the point is to keep it, again, very simple. This month, because I also use my cheaper markers on this, a lot of my markers, this has been great to use up all the browns and the naturals, which is what I had a lot of. I had a lot of browns and oranges and reds left. So it's been great to use up a ton of those browns, but now I'm getting to the point where I'm running out of browns. So this month I experimented with doing different color capybaras on the page. Normally I do them all one color, but I was like, well, the markers are dying. I'm going to have to change color. And I actually really like it. So that was fun. So yeah, this one uses an iridescent paint pen in the background. And then we have the Wizards page. So this one I use super golden markers and a little bit of Mod Podge sparkle as well. So this one does have them all the same color. I like the contrast because this is more of a yellowy brown with that purple. So yeah, that one I did want to keep quite similar. And then we have the exercise one. I believe this was one of this month's actual pages. I wasn't too excited to colour this one, to be honest. And I did experiment with doing some grey capybaras here because, again, running low, and then some more yellowy capybaras. So, yeah, not my favourite page in the world, but it's not going to be my favourite page in the world. And then the snow page, which you can see is covered in Mod Podge Extreme Glitter. Super, super cute. And then we have the reading page. Again, lots of different colours. I really like how this one looks with all the different colours. This is, I think, the one that's maybe started the different colours because the markers were running out. So then we have the pajamas, and of course I did rainbow because if you can throw a rainbow into a page, I'm going to do it. Super golden markers as well. Then we have catch up on the Halloween page. I did use some glaze pens in this one for the glasses and the bat here. And the cobwebs. And then, yeah, I think there's some super golden as well. And the last one that I did in catch up was the rainbow umbrella rain page. So yeah, I did think about colouring in the background of this one, which I have done. I also did that on the Christmas page, you know. Sometimes I do, but most of the time I don't. But yeah, that's all the all the pages done in there. So now there's a really good chunk of this book done as well. This is one of the pages for this month because that's the page I chose. I love this page with all the different animals. And then I think it's that one. Or it's a balloons one. It's something like that. Something very similar to that. I'll mark that for now, but yeah, I'm not 100% sure if it's that one for certain, but it's one of those title pages that are February's. So yeah, that's Capybara Cuties by Rob Parkinson. Then another book that I have done a ton in this month is 50 Zodiac themed miniatures, which, if you know, this is a hashtag by Jess from Colouring Bumblebee, and once again I forget to post on Instagram. But this is the Colour a Page a Month style book. Now I did have some whips in here as well. So the page for January, I believe, was Sagittarius. No, Capricorn, because I'm a Capricorn. Yeah, Capricorn. So Capricorn was the page for this month, which I have done. I colour these all the same. I use alcohol markers, Posca paint pen, a little bit of like Pablo or Polychromos pencil, and then there's usually some Mod Podge sparkle and Super Golden markers and Poscas, you know, for details. So you can see I did Capricorn for this month. Love the Capricorn. I also completed Sagittarius, because this one I'd only done the alcohol marker base. I also went in, and as you can see, there's these little stars above that I added. I noticed that on the front there's these little stars, and I actually really liked the look of it. So on any page that had, like for example, Scorpio has a glitter, so I can't do it on Scorpio, but I went back to Libra and added that in, and I also went to Virgo and added that in, and Leo. And then some of these I hadn't actually done much highlighting on. So for those ones, I went back in and added in just a little bit more detail as well. So these have all just been like slightly amended. And then after I did the Capricorn, I was like, you know what? I might as well just carry on. I'm in the mood for it. So I also did Aquarius. And again, Aquarius is under the water. So she got coloured entirely with Mod Podge Sparkle, because I was in the mood. I really liked Aquarius and the little octopus. I thought that was cute. And then I was like, well, you know what? There's only one more left. So I might as well do the Pisces as well. So I did do the Pisces, which means I have now completed the full-size star sign pages entirely. And then I was like, well, you know, we're also working on the chibi minis, and I've got some whips here. So I should go and finish off those whips. So I finished off the Chibi Rat, which was a whip. And then I finished off the Chibi Ox, which was also a whip. I had my marker die in the background here, so I used a little bit of Pablo pencil to just add in some highlights so it looked like some light rays. And then I also had, as a whip, the Chibi Monkey. So I finished off the Chibi Monkey. And then I did the Chibi Rooster, which was this month's page. And as you might be able to see by the bookmarks, I was like, wow, we may as well. So I did the Chibi Dog. I loved how that one turned out. And then the Chibi Pig. So I also finished off all the chibis as well. So I've technically done the next couple of months ahead. And then while I had the Ganzai Tambi out, I was like, you know what? I've got an idea. And so I went back to the Book Belongs To page. And I knew that I wanted to colour each of these symbols to match the colour that I've done around each of these. So each of these matches its corresponding page. So I knew that much. So I did match these to that. I did also use a black glitter just to do the Book Belongs To in part around there. I chose just like a rose gold to do my name, and used a bit of alcohol markers and some paint pens. And yeah, the background is Ganzai Tambi and some inks as well to play around with. I was kind of trying to create that sort of spacey void So yeah, that one got done too, which means this book is now 50% complete. I'm a little bit ahead with the hashtag, and that's okay. If I decide like I could go ahead and color some more ahead if I want to. I think there's also like one page in between. Yeah, these ones here, the elements page. So I might do those in the next couple of months while I wait for everything else to catch up potentially. We'll see. We'll see. I've enjoyed it though. I also have so much other Camellia Angelica, so I could pull those out and give this book a bit of a rest for a couple of months because I'm a bit ahead. But it's what the mood called for, so it's what we did. Okay. Millie Mariotta's Secrets of the Sea. Now, if you saw my complete collection tour, I talked about how in this book I keep on having disasters. Here's another disaster page. And I had one page in here that I had done that I was like, maybe if I go in and do this specific thing, it will make it look a lot better. And so we went in and did the specific thing, which is the seals page here. So originally I'd done all this patchwork paint pen effect, but I hadn't done any of the black. And I was on stream one night and I went in and I outlined the seal, and I was already just with a simple black outline so much better. It's like, yeah, I did think I need to go in and outline it. And then I came in with the black and outlined different sections of the paint pen and put little stitches like it's patchwork, and already love the effect so much. I think it looks so cool. It does look patchworky. It looks like it's a soft toy made of a bunch of different fabrics. Just that simple addition of the black pen has made this page so much better. So yeah, really pleased with that. So that doesn't count as like a new page completed or in the page totals. That was just amendment to an existing page. But I did do the page next to it. And so this one, again, it's just Gansai Tambi in the background with a bunch of iridescent watercolor. I did also splatter a bunch of different iridescent watercolors on top and different inks on top. And literally it's just a black ink pen that I colored in section by section. I kept it pretty simple, but yeah, it was quite a good brainless one, just sitting here and like coloring in different sections, or while I had something on. Again, tummy hasn't been feeling great, so this was just perfect brainless coloring. And yeah, it's not my favorite page in the world, but I do like it with the combination of the two. I think the black also really helps. I would possibly, because I used a black glaze pen to do these outlines, I would possibly do the glaze pen over here instead of just the regular ink pen, but it's okay. So at least it wasn't a complete disaster like the other pages that have happened in this book. So yeah, feeling a lot better now because we have those two, plus we have the penguins here that I do like as well. So now we're at to 3 pages I like versus 1 that I don't. So this book's feeling a lot more positive now, just with that simple thing. So maybe we'll actually do some more work in Secrets of the Sea. That would be cool. That's by Millie Mariotta. All right, another brainless coloring page is Disney Stained Glass coloring book. This is one of my go-to, I don't feel well, grab some markers, crawl into bed and just sit there and color sections. I'm not trying to shade here. I'm not trying to be pedantic. I'm just coloring to keep my brain occupied. Pretty much this was the next page in the lot uncolored, so that's why I chose Wally. No rhyme or reason. It was just like, as I was flicking through, I was like, oh, that page is the next. Pretty sure, apart from that one, which is so tiny and I'm putting off indefinitely. Yeah, I think when I went through and just like did this, I was like, oh, okay, for some reason I'd skipped Wally, so I was like, I'll do Wally. So yeah, the next one will be Moana if I want to do an order. If I don't want to do an order, I'll just jump somewhere else in the book. See, there's a bit done in here, but it's just a good brainless. I don't feel well, and again, it's been the theme this month. I don't feel well. Another easy, simple, I don't feel well. Cute and Cozy Girlfriends by Harry Alexander. I have done this page here. So cute. Of course, we had to do our kitties black because I love black kitties. And it's just alcohol markers. I did use a pencil to do a bit of shading on it. Paint pens for highlights. There's a little bit of Mod Podge Sparkle as well because I love my glitter. And some super golden markers to do like details on the beds and stuff like that. But yeah, just another simple, easy colouring page, but I really like how it turned out. I had a lot of fun. And when you're not feeling well, absolutely perfect. So yeah, such a cute book. Such a cute book. So this one's technically a whip. In fact, this is 2 whips. Well, 4 whips because they're both doubles. So this is Small World Colouring. This is by Ursula Schwab. This was another gift this month, and oh my god, I can't tell you how much I love this book. Again, I have not been feeling well. I have been in bed most of the month, curled around in pain, and then when I have been functional, I've been looking for things that I could easily do in bed. And so what I've ended up doing is taking this book with my Albert Durers into the bedroom, and that's all I've been working on. And I might only do a section at a time, but it's just brilliant. So I started off with the, I think this is Afternoon in the Zoo it translates to. So as you can see, I haven't finished it. I wasn't expecting to finish it, but I've done basically all the big sections apart from like a little bit of the roof here. So yeah, I've just got a little bit more of the roof, and I did want to add some more colour to this walkway. And then once that's done, I just have to come in and do all the animals, and I think I'm just going to take like my Crayolas to bed basically, and then just do all the little details on the Crayolas, or I could just use the Albert Durers and not activate them. But yeah, this is just still Albert Durers, and it's been brilliant. I just sit there, I colour in like a little section at a time, and then I have a little pot of water and a couple of brushes, and I just sit there and activate it. And considering how I've been feeling, absolutely fantastic. So I've loved working on this book in bed. It's just, I don't know, something about it's been clicking with me. And it got to a point, as you could see, I got to this point and I didn't really want to do the roof. I don't really know what colours I'm doing over here, so I've just put down a grey wash to begin with, but yeah, I haven't decided on colours for here. If I keep that natural or if I bring in a colour, I'm also thinking maybe red might be good, or I could bring in some purple from over here or something. Haven't decided on that part yet. And that's kind of where I got stuck, and I didn't really want to think about it, to be honest, because again, not feeling well. So I was like, you know what, screw it. The rule is this year, if I'm not in the mood, turn the page. I wanted to keep working in the book, I just didn't want to work on that page anymore. So I started working on this page instead, and I love how this is presenting so far. I can see lots of glitter going into this page as well, so it's going to be really fun. So we've got the sky and some of the grass done, and yeah, a bit of the fade out. I think I'm going to bring some yellow up from here as well and bring that around. I haven't decided on that, but yeah, I'm going to also use like gel pens and sparkles, and yeah, lots and lots of fun. So this has been my bed companion book at the moment. It will go back into the bedroom, and as I said, I'll probably take in a pack of my Crayolas or something like that, and just have those beside me to work with as well for colouring in all the small details. But yeah, it's been such a good bed book this month, and yeah, so four whips essentially, because 2 double page spreads, but yeah, that one really won't take long to finish. Speaking of whips, let's get this monstrosity out of the way. Oh, yep. It's my Mythomorphia, my falling apart Mythomorphia, and I actually have 3 whips, a double and a single that has been started this month. So I've had an idea for a while for the my brain is Phoenix. Is it Phoenix? I don't know. My brain is gone. I can't remember what this page is, but I've had an idea for a while. There's also another little printout that I've had for this page. And so I just started playing around with that. I didn't copy the background exactly because I realized the position of the tree, it was going to kind of cut out if I did add in that scenic background, but I liked the color blend. So that's what I've taken from here. And then I started working on here, and I'm going to bring a bit more purples and browns into here. So far it is Neocolor 2s in the background with a little bit of Prismacolor worked in. Didn't get very far on it, but we worked as much as I felt at the time that I could sit at the desk for before I had to go and curl up. And then the other page that I started, which is what got me working on this one, was Jess from Colouring Bumblebee happened to message me about a basilisk page that she wanted to work on. And it was like when we get started on it, we'll send a message to each other. So I warned her, I was like, I did the background, but, we're not getting to it for a while. I think I sent that message. Did I send that message to say, hey, I did the background, but I don't know. I know I sent some point because I sent the beautiful rough shading, as you can see. Basically, I just grabbed Neocolor 2s and just blocked in color. It looks rough as heck right now. This is like the underlayer of the underlayer of the underlayer. So don't panic too much with how this looks because I've got so much more that's going into this. I've got a very specific idea, but I just needed to get lots of basic purple down. It looks scribbly, it looks messy. It does not matter. It's going to be worked over so many times. So this is just a really quick wash with Neocolor 2. It looks hideous, I know. Don't worry. It's got so much more work to go, but that's as far as I got with it. So yeah, that's some more whips I created this month. Right, let's do this one. This is quite an interesting one. So as I did my complete collection tour, and specifically the Colouring Heaven section, I had this plain stained glass flowers issue by Colouring Heaven, and I coloured in one, and I talk about it like, oh, I don't really know if I'll keep this book. Maybe I'll try to colour one more like stained glass and see how I feel, but I just don't really see myself colouring this book too much. And as I'm going to move this book away, I then go, oh, I wonder if I use scrapbooking paper and collage it. And it just sent my brain off, just as a random, like, oh, I could do this. And then, boom, my brain was alight with ideas. And I was like, I have to do that. So I did do that. So this was the first attempt. So I used scrapbooking paper, and I took this book to my local print shop, and I photocopied a bunch of different pages, and I basically used this as a template. So I sat there and I cut out the whole thing and stuck those pieces of paper down onto different scrapbooking cards, then recut them out and then stuck them down into the book. So it's a lot of cutting. Now with this one, I was trying to use different colored card for each section. So like the flowers have several colors. The background has several colors. Even these greens is technically 2 different ones. The border is 1. And what I realized very quickly is that you are better to use 1 with a pattern and just let that pattern be different. So the border, this taught me that very quickly. I was like, okay, I used too many options here. Like it's a bit hard to see. I could technically go in with a paint pen and outline everything, but I don't know if I really can be bothered doing that. So I'm happy to leave it as is. You can still see that these are flowers on there. It's just, the process of learning that, oh, I need to simplify down my papers, which is what happened in number 2, which, oh my God, so much better. So you can see I used the same paper for the whole background, but because it's a pattern, it gives difference as all the different pieces come together. And then we used a simple plain, but there's a little bit of a pattern in the purple. Same with the blue. There's a little bit of, it might get lost because of the Mod Podge. And then, yeah, plainish green, and then most of the details in the background. And I did pull out a Super Golden marker and just do some little dots on here, which were on the original, but I wasn't going to cut out. That's too tiny to cut out. It's like, screw that, I'll draw that on. But yeah, I love how the little hummingbird turned out. I love how it came together with this one. So yeah, definitely the route to go. So yeah, it's just various like scrapbooking papers that I have cut up. I've kept some of the cut up pieces in here in case I, can use them up. So I've got some of the small pieces in there. But yeah, scrapbooking papers, and then a lot of Mod Podge matte to stick it all down. So yeah, I have quite a few of these pre-photocopied already. Not every page in the book. I just grabbed a bunch of them that did those, so they're there ready to go if I get inspired to do it again. But definitely really fun. It's basically like making a jigsaw puzzle. That's really what it is. And so when I was like cutting out the pages as well, that one's a bit complicated, but here, these ones. So I cut it out. I would do sections. So I did like the stems and the leaves. I would cut out like all the green pieces first, then stick the green down, and then I'd do like the flower. So I would cut that out and then stick the flower down, and then I would do the background. And I would cut all the pieces out, then stick them down, and I would mix those pieces up too, so it wasn't like I was placing it in order, because I wanted those pieces to have different directions. I wanted to have that sort of puzzly background, and yeah, really like how that came together. So yeah, I might end up doing some more of that, because that was really fun. Stained glass flowers, and now I'm really excited to have this book, because it's just a really fun way to do it. Yeah. Another whip that I have. I've just bumped the mic, so sorry. Not the mic, the camera. I'm doing well with words. Monster Party by Oleksiy Byskov. So this is a Victoria one. We started this on a live stream, on a Friday night live stream. Love how it's progressing. We're going absolutely wild for the colours, as you might be able to tell. So I've used, I believe, Neocolor 2s. And then we did use stickles. We decided the clouds would be green. So green stickles for the clouds. And then we've just used water-based markers for colouring in the mushrooms. And yeah, that was the point that I basically got to when I was done. I did colour in the little teddy bear. So yeah, I just need to pull it out again. I might do it on live stream. I might not. This feels like a good one to take to bed with water-based markers, and just sit there and start colouring the monsters, but we'll see how we go. But yeah, this whole thing is 8 panels, so I was just aiming to basically get the first 2 panels done, because that's where they're outside, and then it moves inside. So yeah, just kind of want to get those first 2 panels done, and then as it moves through, can carry on another day. But yeah, it's basically one continuous image of a bunch of monsters having a big party. And it reminds me of that TV series Are Real Monsters. Really neat illustration style. So yeah, just that's as far as we got on it, and that's okay. So that's Monsters Party by Oleksiy Byskov. I have Magical Worlds by Joanna Basford. This is actually my first page in here. And this was one of the first things I did in the month. And so, again, one of the things that I'm trying to do this year is really teach myself to work on what I want to work on, walk away when I don't want to work on things anymore. So I had an idea for this page, and I was like, oh, okay. And so I pulled out the Inktense pencils, and I started doing basically this background. And I was like, perfect. And then my brain went, well, why don't you make it a double and work next door? And so I started pulling out that same color and coloring in behind here with the blue of the Inktense, which around here. And I wasn't really liking it, but I was like, oh, okay. And then I knew I was going to pull out the pastel super tips to color in the unicorns, but I also wanted to deepen up some of the colors around, so I used the watercolor technique where you color with the super tips on like a piece of plastic, pick it up with a brush and dabble it in. So I dabbled it into a few areas just to make the color a little bit more like pop in a couple of areas, and I started doing the same thing over here with the blue, and then it wasn't working, and then I started coloring in the house with the markers as I was coloring in the flowers of the unicorn. Loved this side, was pushing on this side, and I reached a point where it was like scribbly and horrible. You can see some of the blue poking through there. I was like, I just need to step away from this. This is not the vibe. This is not what we're meant to be doing this year. Walk away from this. Ignore this. So I literally just put a piece of paper over this and finished off this one. by pulling out actually Crayola pencils and just doing a little bit of shading, and then Mod Podge Sparkle. A really simple page, but this is what I had in mind all along. And it's like, I love this so much, exactly what I wanted. But then I had the disaster on this page. And so I walked away, and then later on came back in and went, okay, if we pull out the rest of the water, the super tips, the pastel super tips, finish off colouring the page and a little bit of pencil for like the shading on the house, that'll be cute, and then we'll figure out the background later, because it was like splotchy and horrific and I didn't like it. So I did that. I walked away. I came back, I think like a week later, and then, well, yeah, we need to paint over this background and make it black. And then it'll contrast because it'll be black and white. So yes, I did do the black acrylic then, and then I went over it with the Mod Podge Sparkle, and so much better. So yeah, but it was very much a lesson to myself of, this is why I am trying to only, like, to not just work on something for the sake of working on something. Just because I happen to be working next to this page doesn't mean I had to do them at the same time. It is quite handy to do both at the same time because you've got the same colours out and stuff like that. But just because I could doesn't mean I should. And yeah, this was what the mood was. That's what I should have stuck to. Still really pleased with how this one turned out, but it was a lot of work to get there, and it was a lot more energy than I should have been putting into the page. Which is why we're trying to keep things simple this year. But hey, we got 2 pages done in Magical Worlds, and this was an untouched book, so that's cool. Right, Wondrous Folk. I did this one during my birthday stream because it was my birthday in the month of January. And so we worked on this gorgeous Strawberry Dreams page, and I love so much how she turned out. This was my first real attempt playing with the Ohuhu markers, and so she's been entirely shaded with the Ohuhus. I pulled out a little bit of pencil just to deepen like a couple of sections of the hair, but everything else has been done with the markers for the shading. I did pull out Inktense to do this background, just to get that sort of modelled background, and then there is a super golden marker for the frame, and I think I used a little bit of paint pen just to do like a couple of highlights and stuff like that. But yeah, just absolutely love how she turned out. I really like the sort of sheer green that has been created. Oh, and the other thing that I did was when I did pull out a pencil to do sort of like this frame and behind the glass here, so where the red of the frame would have been, but I don't want to use super golden because it's through something else. That's where I use that. And yeah, I'm really, really pleased with how she came together. So yeah, just absolutely love. I had a lot of fun working with the markers and figuring out colours and stuff like that too. So yeah, absolutely love how she came together. So that was my first page in Wondrous Folk by Christine Karen. And then the other big book this month that has taken my interest, and I mean a lot, is Oceans to Stars by Lydia Fenwick. This book has become my new obsession. And if I had been well on Friday, this also would have been me colouring in this on Friday. So I started off with the Capricorn page, because as a Capricorn, it's like, I'll do the Capricorn page. And this started because my dear, wonderful friend Smalt sent through a picture of her working on the Leo page in this book. And I was like, that is gorgeous. I need to get into this book. I'm going to use my Ohuhu markers. So that made me swatch my markers, because we all know how much I hate swatching markers. And then my brain clicked and I went, oh, wait, no, I can't use markers because this is a double-sided book and it's going to bleed through, and I'm going to be sad if I lose the little stones and stuff, even though they're not essential to colour because I really like them. Darn. But I got my marker swatch. So then it's like, you know what? I've really been enjoying Inktense lately. Let me pull out Inktense and play with Inktense. And, oh, excuse me. I love so much how she turned out. I really wanted to play with this very limited colour palette, and the information over here actually gives you basically your color palette, because it's got dark grey and brown, African violet, jasmine, and onyx. So that gave me, African violets gave me purple, dark grey and brown. Jasmine is white with the green for the plants, and then onyx again is like greys and browns. So I took some colours from Inktense, specifically neutral grey, storm dust, bark, natural brown, light olive, jungle green, amethyst, and blue violet. And I did what I call colour math. Well, Smart and I have dubbed colour math, and now it's colour math. And as you can see, we dragged the colours across and mixed the colours to see what we could create by mixing colours. And this was great because this gave me different ways to shade, to bring in different tones. And so these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 colours is what's been used on this entire page. So her skin is a mixture of amethyst, natural brown, bark, and I think some storm dust as well, and also some light olive as well for shading some of the green. Yeah, like her horns are, mostly purple, but there again is some greens in there for shading. So it helped me work out what colours I can put where to shade for certain things. And love, love, love how she turned out. I then also used Poscas to go over her hair, because of course I wanted her hair white, so eliminate a lot of the black lines on her hair. Super Golden to do like the framework, and then there's a little bit of stickles on the scales, because there's this really beautiful, I think it's actually called Mermaid's Tail, but it's like purple and orange reflect, and it's like a brownie orange, so just kind of tied in really perfectly. So yeah, that's how I did the Capricorn. And then I enjoyed it so much that I went, you know what, we're going to do the Scorpio. Now, I don't have my little colour math thing, but I will find my colour math thing for this one, because I did the exact same thing. I pulled out Inktense, I did colour math. This one has, I know, Shiraz in crimson. I think it has like Payne's grey. It also has like deep violet, because again the colours are crimson and black, peony and topaz. Now peonies and topaz, they could be any colour, so I stuck with that sort of purpley reds and browns for this, and I love how she turned out so much. Again, really proud of this. It is all Inktense. All her skin has been done in Inktense again. I did use some Posca paint pens to do a couple of highlights. There's also Super Golden and Silver, and then Liquitex acrylic ink in the metallic rose gold, because it was just the perfect color match. So that is what the rose gold border is. Really proud of my crystal over here too. Like, I really like the shading of the crystal of the topaz. So yeah, I'm not sure where that colour blend is, but I'll find that and put that back in there for the colour math. So yeah, love that. And then, as I said, absolutely obsessed with this book this month. So we still have Libra, which is the one that I decided to start afterwards, because I, again, have just been enjoying this book so much. So you can see that I've only just really done the skin and a little bit of the leaves. So Libra's colours are light blue, peach, hydrangea, and opal. So for the hydrangea, I really want to do those bluey purple hydrangeas, and then opal pulls in like lots of blues and purples, but a little bit of yellow. So kind of keep that on the peach side. The thing that I struggled with the most originally was, how do you do peach in Inktense? Because if you know Inktense colours, there's not really a set peach colour. So the first thing I had to do was color math on how to make peach, which is essentially just like a pinky orange and yellow. Like, it's really just orange with pink in it. So my theory was, okay, if I mix a pink and a yellow, we should get a peachy color. So that's what I ended up doing. I ended up really loving the pinks that I shaded with Sicilian yellow. I felt like that was the closest peachy, and I really ended up liking the pink flamingo and Sicilian yellow. So that is how I have made the peach. It is the Sicilian yellow, and sorry, not, I've written carmine. I went for the carmine in the end. But I do have the pink flamingo circled, so I think I was going to Yeah, no, it's Pink Flamingo. Why did I write Carmine down there? I don't know. Don't trust my brain, y'all. So yeah, I then did Colour Map again. And this time I made one row where I made the peach, and then we have the rows with those colours individually, because of course that also opens up letting Sicilian Yellow and Pink Flamingo go into the page. So yeah, right now her skin is a mixture of the peach with amethyst and I can tell by on here. Yeah, so a little bit of the amethyst, the dark purple, a little bit of the natural brown, and then a little bit of the jungle green as well has been used. So yeah, and then I started pulling out the jungle green, brown, and purple to do the leaves. So that's as far as I got on Libra, but again, absolutely loving this book. Loving so much how it's coming together and really enjoying the ink tints, as you can see by the fact that the pencils are still in the book as well. So really excited to get back to Oceans to Stars and do some more in here. I can see myself doing quite a few more pages because absolutely love it. So yeah, that is everything that I have coloured this month in the month of February. I hope you've enjoyed seeing everything. Once again, I'm going to remind you that tomorrow is the live stream for raising funds for the World Cancer Research Fund. So I really hope you can join us for that. Let me know down below what you've been working on this month and what you've enjoyed from my completed pages, what your favorite was. I know words. I need to go make some breakfast / lunch. Yeah, things aren't processing up here, so it's time for me to go and have a break and get this video edited and uploaded ASAP for you. But in the meantime, oli araha to you all. Take care, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Otherwise, in the next video. Bye.